So it's difficult to think there is a book governs our life that define you as a man, that define you as a woman, that is define you as individual. Is actually there. This is the civil code. You know, the first civil code established for one state was the Napoleonic Code. Appeared in the context of French Revolution as a result of the search for three pillars of the revolution: equality, freedom, and fraternity. This was used as a model for the other nations or for the other countries. For example, in this picture, you can see what countries was adopted the Napoleonic code. For example, you can see the part blue are the country was adopted the Napoleonic Code, and you can see the part red was adopted the other form of codification. But in this picture you can see the all countries adopted the codification. In fact, the 19th century is now has the era of codification, because the tendency to codify the law present in the Western world. In Latin America, for example, was adopted the civil code was adopted in the early 19th century after the period of revolution, and in Colombia the civil code was adopted in the second half of the 19th century. After this short historical context, I would like to tell you that my doctoral research is focused on studying how the civil code arrived in our country, and I am interested in how this legislation was introduced, transformers in institutions, political space, the legal, culture, and social relations. Okay, now I will introduce two concept. I said before is the civil code, and let me ask you: do you know what the civil code is?
No.
Okay, the civil code is a systematic collection of laws intended to provide citizens of writing laws to regulate their behavior in society. The civil code are legal fundamental or foundation for any societies. The codes change over time, and which change in society relate to family, people, and customs, etc. So, what aspects are regulated by the civil code? For example, marriage and obligation and contracts, and inheritance, for example. And other example, more clear, can be: do you remember these debates about the adoption of persons of the same time, the same sex?
More or less.
The last months, there are a discussion in the Congress of Colombia about this matter, but in our codification, still that's regulation, because our civil code continue has been the civil code the 19th century with some modification, but is the code, the old code. Okay. One example, the civil code more update is civil code Argentina. This civil code changed in the 2040 totally, and is the most update codification because include laws, for example, environmental laws or other conception of life, different the pregnant, for example, embryo, other laws, for example, adoption of children of person the same sex, is considered for this civil code. And good. Given to above, it's important to ask why is important the civil code. The civil code is important. I think the civil code is important because it's key state while contain the rules that govern who we are as individuals and age the things we do in our private life. And the other reasons can be in the slide appear in conclusion. On the other reasons can be the civil code is a book important for the life of people. And for this reason, the civil code no is an ordinary book. The civil code is important because it shows biopolitical and legal conception that has a specific society. Biopolitical is a concept used for Michel Foucault. Besides, his knowledge should not only be reserved for lawyers. It should also be a subject of study by historians and people ordinary. Thank you for your attention. I wonder if you have a question.
I don't know.